Hare Krishna. We are continuing to read from Sri Isopanishad. We are on mantra 13. We already read some of the purport. I'll just read the mantra again. Anyad evahu sambhavad, anyad ahur asambhavad, iti shushruma dhiranam, yenastad vichakshire. Translation: it is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes, and that another result is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. All this is heard from the undisturbed authorities who clearly explained it. So we have been seeing that not that all paths lead to one. Who we worship, that's where we are going to go. That's the point being said in this part of Sri Isopanishad. So before we continue to read, before hearing the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was disturbed by the material whirlpool, by his affection for his family, society, and community. Thus, Arjuna wanted to become a philanthropic, non-violent man of the world. But when he became Buddha, by hearing the Vedic knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Person, he changed his decision and became a worshipper of Lord Shri Krishna, who had himself arranged the battle of Kurukshetra. So Arjuna was saying initially to Krishna, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight. I'm going to, he felt I'm doing very philanthropic, very charitable. I'm being so great. I'm not going to fight. I'll let those people, let them take the kingdom. I'm okay. I'll just go to the forest. Arjuna was saying he was going to do that. Let become a non-violent. No, I don't want to fight. Philanthropy. He was feeling, no, I'm doing very good for everyone by not fighting. So, but then he was coming from a place of attachment. He was actually very attached, and that's the reason he was disturbed. And that's why he was saying, I'm going to do this, be non-violent or philanthropic. But he got the good sense to ask Krishna, my dear Krishna, what shall I do? Please instruct me. So then Krishna instructed the Bhagavad Gita to him. And then after he heard the Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, he understood what is the true knowledge. He understood how I should act. He became Buddha. He became really intelligent of how to act. And he said, now, my dear Krishna, I will do whatever you want me to do. I will do whatever you want me to do. You are the Supreme Lord. You are the Supreme Person. I follow you. So Arjuna worshipped the Lord by fighting with his so-called relatives. And in this way, he became a pure devotee of the Lord. Such accomplishments are possible only when worships the real Krishna and not some fabricated Krishna invented by foolish men who are without knowledge of the intricacies of the science of Krishna described in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita as it is. He heard Bhagavad Gita directly from Krishna. And then he became a pure devotee. He said, I'm going to do whatever you want me to do. Until today, we are singing Arjuna's glories. It's been 5,000 years. Arjuna is all famous as the hero of the battle of Kurukshetra. Till today, he's famous because he heard what Krishna told him. He followed what Krishna told him to do. So even if we hear from the pure devotees, we follow, then we will also become purified. But it's said that this is possible only when we are worshipping the real Krishna, not some fabricated Krishna, because there's so many people who says I'm an incarnation of Krishna. So many people. But if we follow them thinking that they're really incarnation of Krishna, we are not going to be going back to Godhead. Because our aim is to go back to Godhead. So we need to worship the Supreme Person, Lord Krishna, and not some imitation Krishna. That's the point being maintained here. According to the Vedanta Sutra, Sambhuta is the source of birth and sustenance, as well as the reservoir that remains after annihilation. Janmadi asya yataha. The Srimad Bhagavatam, the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra by the same author, maintains that the source of all emanations is not like a dead stone, but is abhigya, or fully conscious. So the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 1, Srila Vyasadeva, who is the author of all the, well, not the author, he's the one who recorded. He recorded the Bhagavatam. He recorded the Vedas. He's the one who wrote the commentary of Vedanta Sutra. Okay, what is he saying? That the the source of all incarnations, the source of all emanations, the source of all creations, the source of everything is not a dead stone, is not a stone, is not unconscious, but is abhigya, fully conscious, fully conscious. That is the absolute truth. Very first Janmadi Asya Yata Vyasadeva, he says all the glories of Krishna in the very first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. He establishes that Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the supreme absolute person from whom all the material world, spiritual world has been created, that he is the speaker of the Vedas, he Tene Hrida Brahmaya Adi Kavaye, that he's the first, he's the one who spoke the Vedas in the heart of Brahmaji, this Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, that I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, who is the son of Vasudeva and whose name is Vasudeva. So the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person. It's not just some energy, not just some light, not just some consciousness. He is a person. Okay, the Brahmava Lord, Sri Krishna, also says in the Bhagavad Gita 7.26 that he is fully conscious of past, present, and future, and that no one, including demigods, such as Shiva and Brahma, knows him fully. So Krishna is saying that in Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, I remember past, present, and future. I remember everything. And he is also saying that even the demigods, Lord Shiva is the leader of all the demigods. But even he can't remember all this past, present. He's not fully conscious. You know, even Lord Brahma is not fully conscious. Certainly half-educated spiritual leaders who are disturbed by the tides of material existence cannot know him fully. So even Brahmaji and Lord Shiva, they are such great devotees. They are the Mahajans, you know, who are teaching us how to worship Krishna. And they themselves are not, they themselves in the demigod part, not in the devotee part. But in the demigod position, they are not able to understand Krishna. Then how people who are just hearing something from here and there, and they become spiritual leaders, and they have not controlled their mind and senses, no control, then how they can understand Krishna? And then we follow such people, then what's going to happen to us? What's going to happen to our faith? They try to make some compromise by making the mass of humanity the object of worship. But they do not know that such worship is only a myth because the masses are imperfect. But some people say that, okay, serve all the people. But but all the people, none of us are perfect, you know. Worship is only for the Supreme Lord. The Lord is not an imperfect person. Yes, each and every living entity is a part of the Lord, and we need to serve each and every living entity. That is different. That is different. But God, he's one. He's the Supreme Lord. And we need to worship him so that we can go back to him in the Vaikuntha planet. The attempt by these so-called spiritual leaders is something like pouring water on the leaves of a tree instead of the root. The natural process is to pour water on the root. But such disturbed leaders are more attracted to water the leaves than the root. Despite their perpetually watering the leaves, however, everything dries up for want of nourishment. So there are many we see all over the world. Everywhere there are these so-called spiritual leaders, but they're not really, they themselves don't know where they are going. They themselves don't have complete knowledge. And because they don't have complete knowledge, they're not able to guide their followers properly. And so they just make up some ways of worship, some method of worship. They make up some ideas, but it's all based on mental speculation, limited to their own mind. And it's not going to give a permanent bliss or permanent solution to anyone. So the Isopanishad advises us to pour water on the root, the source of all germination. Worship of the mass of humanity by rendering bodily service, which can never be perfect, is less important than service to the soul. So now, what is Sri Isopanishad saying? Sri Isopanishad is saying that you put the water on the root. What's the root? Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is the root. Okay. So what is Sri Isopanishad saying? Okay, even if we serve humanity, okay, even if we serve, how much can we serve? We are serving on the physical level. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. And what is a higher service? The important service is to serve the soul, not the body. The body is going to die. So how did we actually save that person? The person is the soul, not the body, you know? So if you're just going to serve people's bodies, we're just serving their bodies, but we never actually serve them. True service to humanity is when we are caring for the soul of each and every one. Understanding that each of us is a soul, not a body. The soul is the root that generates different types of bodies according to the law of karma. To serve human beings by medical aid, social help, and educational facilities, while at the same time cutting the throats of poor animals in slaughterhouses, is no service at all to the soul, the living being. So how are we doing that? How the Sri Isopanishad is saying we are serving humanity. We are giving medical aids, we are giving food aids, we are giving social aids, we are giving educational aid, we are giving emotional aid, but at the same time, we are maintaining so many slaughterhouses. We are cutting down trees. We are depleting so much wildlife. How are we serving the soul? How are we serving anyone? So just by feeding the poor or just giving them some bodily service, that is not what service is. Sure, those who are needy, who are in distress, don't have enough food to eat, give them food, but give them prasadam, connect them to Krishna. Tell them to chant Hare Krishna when giving them prasadam. You know, those who are not educated, send them to school, yes, but also teach them about Bhagavad Gita. Teach them Bhagavad Gita, that you're not the body only. Body needs to be maintained, but we are the soul. You know, medical aid, of course, ISKCON has so many hospitals, Bhaktivedanta hospitals are there to cure the disease of the body, but also at the same time to understand that we are not the body, but we are the soul. So it's not that we ignore the soul and just serve the body, because then it does not make any sense. Because once the person leaves the body, then he's in another place, suffering in another area. How did we serve him then? But if we make him understand, hey, you're not the body, you're the soul, you can make an end to this life. You know, you do not need to make another birth again. Just chant Hare Krishna, hear about Krishna, go back home, back to God. That is really service. He doesn't need to come to the material world again and suffer. He can be all joyful, always happy in this life and permanently. Reading on. The living being is perpetually suffering in different types of bodies from the material miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. So living being, any living entity in any body. It could be that we are in the body of an ant or in the body of a demigod, in a Swargalok, anywhere. Each living entity, we have material misery. What is the misery? Birth, death, old age, and disease. The human form of life offers one a chance to get out of this entanglement. So now we are all in this world. We are getting different bodies, sometimes animals, sometimes birds, sometimes human beings. Like that, we are going through miseries. Now we have come in this human life. Now human life is the only way that we can get out of the cycle of birth and death, this samsara. It's called the samsara, right? The circle of birth and death. It's the only way, human life. And how? Simply by reestablishing the lost relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. That's all we have to do. Re-establish our relationship with the Supreme Lord. It's re-establishing the lost relationship. It means the relationship is already there. It's not that it's a new relationship. It's just that we have forgotten it. We just have to revive it. It's not artificial. It's not that we have to create a new relationship. No, we just have to revive our relationship, re-establish our relationship with the Supreme Lord. Each of us has a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. The Lord comes personally to teach this philosophy of surrender unto the Supreme, the Sambuddha. So he spoke Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharmam Parityagya, just surrender to me, he says. Then how many of us actually follow Bhagavad Gita? How many of us do actually surrender to Krishna? So real service to humanity is rendered when one teaches surrender to and worship of the Supreme Lord with full love and energy. That is the instruction of Sri Isopanishad in this mantra. So the real service to humanity, not just a lip service that I'm such a great humanitarian, such a great philanthropist, giving X amount of money for medical aid or for physical aid or for whatever, educational aid, whatever, those things, they will go on, do those things. But the main importance of when we are giving these aids, inform the people who it's being given to, that you're not the body, you're the soul. Reestablish your relationship with Krishna, revive your relationship with Krishna, surrender to the Supreme Lord. This is what Sri Isopanishad is telling us. That is the real service to humanity. The simple way to worship the Supreme Lord in this age of disturbance is to hear and chant about his great activities. So how do we worship the Supreme Lord in this age of Kali? That is Kali Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan. It is said in the Shastras. In this age of Kali, the only way to worship the Lord is by hearing and chanting his glories, his activities, his names. The mental speculators, however, think that the activities of the Lord are imaginary. Therefore, they refrain from hearing of them and invent some word jugglery without any substance to divert the attention of the innocent masses of people. Now, there are some mental speculators, those who are on the mental platform, limited to their mind. What do they think? They think that the activities of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, they are imaginary. They think, what is this? It's just imagination. It's like you're reading a fiction. Why? Because they're coming from a point of their own mind and imagination. They don't know the fact. And because of that, they don't hear about the pastimes of the Lord. And they are misguiding the innocent people by just some use of some words, by some word jugglery, by using some pleasing words or some humorous words or some rhyming words or just some word jugglery to divert the attention of the innocent. Instead of hearing of the activities of Lord Krishna, such pseudo-spiritual masters advertise themselves by inducing their followers to sing about them. So the nature of the soul is we are going to worship. That's the nature. So Sanatana Dharma of each and every living entity of the soul is to serve. That is our nature. We can't change that. Now, what happens is some people, they are saying, don't worship Krishna. Don't worship the Supreme Lord. Worship me. See how great I am. Come to me. I will save you. I will protect you. I will liberate you. Come to me. So they are pseudo-spiritual masters. Means they're not really spiritual masters. They're pretending to be guru. These are not real gurus. They are pretending to be gurus and they're advertising themselves. They're just advertising themselves. In modern times, the number of such pretenders has increased considerably, and it has become a problem for the pure devotees of the Lord to save the masses of people from the unholy propaganda of these pretenders and pseudo-incarnations. In Kali Yuga, yes, everyone says, I'm an incarnation of God. Everyone says, come to me, I will show you liberation. I will give you moksha. I will show you your swarup. There's so many pseudo-pretenders. So many different kinds of pretenders are there. But these are just pretenders. So we need to understand what's the truth. We need to be sure of what we are doing. Where am I hearing from? Who am I hearing from? Who am I following? What am I doing? Because that's going to decide where I go. That's going to decide whether I'm going to understand the absolute truth or still be involved in this cycle of birth and death. The Upanishads indirectly draw our attention to the Preamable Lord Sri Krishna, but the Bhagavad Gita, which is a summary of all the Upanishads, directly points to Sri Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita is called the Gita Upanishad, the essence of all the Upanishads. In the Upanishads, they are Upanishad means they are giving us a hint towards Krishna. They're giving us, directing us towards the Supreme Lord, but not quite, not, in a very clear manner. But Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of all Upanishads, Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhava mata, what's that? I'm the creator, everything comes from me, everything is strung upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Everything emanates from me, the spiritual world, the material world. Yeah. Sri Krishna is saying all these things directly in Bhagavad Gita. No one says that. Can you imagine how bold a statement it is to say that I am the creator of the material and spiritual worlds? Everything is emanating from me. Everything is resting on me. No one can make such a claim. No one. Not even the great demigods, not Lord Shiva, not Lord Brahma. No one can make such a bold claim. And only Krishna does that. Why? Because he is the Supreme Lord. He's just speaking the truth. He's saying, yes, everything's coming from me. I'm the one who's maintaining everyone. So therefore, one should hear about Krishna as he is by hearing from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. And in this way, one's mind will gradually be cleansed of all contaminated things. So that's why we are encouraged to hear from Bhagavad Gita as it is, from Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing from the pure devotees who are coming in the parampara. Why? So that all the dust which is there, the doubts which are there, the misconceptions which are there, we have a lot of these doubts, a lot of these things. But the more we hear, the more we chant, these doubts will be clarified. More and more it will become clearer and clearer. As we clean the window, when a window is really dirty, not cleaned it very long time, the more we clean it, the more clearer the vision becomes. So our cleaning of the heart is with hearing and chanting. The more we do that, more clearer the things will become. The doubts will get clarified. The misconceptions, the confusion, gradually, it will all go away. So Srimad Bhagavatam 1-17 says, by hearing of the activities of the Lord, the devotee draws the attention to the Lord. So now what does the devotee do? The devotee, what does he want? To bring our attention to Krishna. That's what he wants. By speaking Bhagavatam, by hearing the activities of the Lord, the devotee is not saying, glorify me, see, I'm such a great Bhagavatam speaker. What is his motive? Get attracted to Krishna. See how wonderful Krishna is. See how amazing Krishna is, how sweet Krishna is, how beautiful Krishna is, how attractive Krishna is. So that's what the devotee wants. He's drawing our attention to Krishna. We are able to, the devotee is not going to say, sing my glory, see how great I am. He wants glorify Krishna. Thus, the Lord being situated in the heart of every living being helps the devotee by giving him proper directions. You see, one thing we forget that the Lord is in our heart and in the heart of everyone. And he's the one who's giving us intelligence, remembrance, knowledge. He's the one. So when he sees that somebody has really a desire to know me, Krishna helps. Krishna helps from within. And he gives the proper directions. He makes the proper arrangements. The Bhagavad Gita 10.10 confirms this. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. That Krishna, he says that, let me just read the verse quickly. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Krishna is saying, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love. So service to Krishna begins by hearing and chanting. So the more we hear and chant, then Krishna gives us the direction how we can come to him. The Lord's inner direction cleanses the devotee's heart of all contamination produced by the material modes of passion and ignorance. So then the more we hear and chant, Krishna is there within our heart. Then he cleans all the ignorance and the passion from our heart. He's the one who cleans. The more we just have to hear and chant about him. He's doing the cleaning. Non-devotees are under the sway of passion and ignorance. So those who are not devotees, they are under the control of passion and ignorance. One who is in passion cannot become detached from material hankering, and one who is in ignorance cannot know what he is or what the Lord is. So what is the mode of passion? Passion means desires. We have a lot of desires to enjoy separate from the Lord. We have a lot of material desires attached to being in the material world. That is a mode of passion. And then what is the mode of ignorance? That we do not understand who am I, who is the Lord, and what's my relationship with the Lord. That is ignorance. So it's only a devotee who gets pure devotees. They are cleaned from all this passion and ignorance. So if we hear from people who are not devotees, means their hearts are full of passion and ignorance. So then we are just going to become more passionate and more ignorant. What are we going to get? We're not going to get Krishna. We're not going to get the Supreme Lord. We're just going to get more and more passion and ignorance then. Thus, when one is in passion or ignorance, there is no chance for self-realization. However much one may play the part of a religionist, no matter how much I pretend that I'm a religionist, I'm a great religionist, I'm a great philanthropist, till the time I don't become a devotee, my heart will be full of passion and ignorance. And then till the time my heart is passion and ignorance, I cannot get self-realization. Because we need to be on the mode of, on the stage of pure goodness, not even normal, not even material goodness, pure goodness to come to self-realization. For a devotee, the modes of passion and ignorance are removed by the grace of the Lord. So then we are all under passion and ignorance. Then what to do? So we hear and chant. We continue to hear and chant. And then what's being done? Krishna is removing this passion and ignorance from our heart. He's cleaning our heart. And so then we say that we are the servant. Actually, who's the servant? He's the one who's cleaning all our dirty things. We don't like to clean dirty things. We make servants do our cleaning job, the dirt. And then here, now Krishna, he is cleaning our heart, the dirt from our heart. So in this way, the devotees become situated in the quality of goodness, the sign of a perfect Brahman. Anyone can qualify as a Brahmana if he follows the path of devotional service under the guide of a bona fide spiritual master. So the more we hear and chant, then our demoniac qualities go away and our divine qualities, Brahmanical qualities, become more and more stronger, more and more. And so we need to engage in devotional service under the guide of a bona fide spiritual master, bona fide guru. Engage in bhakti under the guidance of a bona fide guru. Srimad Bhagavatam 2:4-18 also says, Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulaksha Abhira Shumba Yavana Kasadayaha Ye Nye Cha Papa Yad Apashriyashrayaha Shuddhyanti Tasme Prabha Vishnave Namaha. Any low-born person can be purified by the guidance of a pure devotee of the Lord, for the Lord is extraordinarily powerful. So it doesn't matter where we are from, this Pulinda, Khasa, Kirata, Punandara, Pulakasa, Yavana, Kasadaya. Doesn't matter where we are, what is our background, how fallen we are, doesn't matter. A pure devotee can guide us. He can purify us. Why? Because he's engaging us in hearing and chanting. The Lord is extraordinarily powerful. It's not that, oh, I am so fallen, then Krishna cannot purify me. No, that means I'm greater than Krishna. That's not the fact. Krishna can purify anyone, anyone. We just simply have to hear and chant about him. When one attains Brahmanical qualifications, he becomes happy and enthusiastic to render devotional service to the Lord. So the more we hear and chant, we will cultivate Brahmanical qualities, then we can become happy and enthusiastic to render devotional service to the Lord. Automatically, the science of God is unveiled before him. So we can see we are staying on the liberated platform, just beginning by hearing and chanting. Hearing and chanting is, then automatically everything is revealed. We don't have to do anything extra. No extra endeavor has to be done. By knowing the science of God, one gradually becomes freed from material attachments, and one's doubtful mind becomes crystal clear by the grace of the Lord. So the more we hear and more we chant, gradually, our material attachments will go away. Our mind will become clear as a crystal. Our doubts will go away. Misconceptions will go away. Just we have to continue to hear and chant. One who attains this stage is a liberated soul and can see the Lord in every step of his life. So we can see just by hearing and chanting, we can get liberated. Nothing extra is needed. This is the perfection of Sambhava as described in this mantra of Sri Isopanishad. So Sri Isopanishad is also saying, just worship the Supreme Lord to get liberation. And worship of Supreme Lord in this age of Kali is by hearing and chanting his names and glories. Is that okay? Any questions or comments? If no, then we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for reading, hearing. Shri Isopanishad ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.